Hello ladies and gentlemen, and tonight we are going to be reviewing a game I played on Nidalee, who I think will be my new main for this coming season. I've been really struggling with Rengar and tried her out for fun and found that I really like her. So let's see how far she'll take me in Season 12. This game we're about to watch is me struggling in Bronze 2 in what I think is my 13th game with Nidalee. So the game starts as totally standard. I go to ward the enemy chickens while spam pinging that I'm going to be going to our red, which my bot lane completely ignores. Olaf is laid out of base, but at least he's not going to sit under his tower like our Jinx. The enemy has warded the back of the pit because my laners weren't there to protect that, which is going to be important in a second. And Lux just decided to go and fight solo in the river. Awesome stuff, Jinx. Well, at least she's here to give me a leash, even though Lux didn't get the MMO apparently. Normally I tell my laners not to bother leashing me because they can't do it properly. They tend to fuck it up and reset the camp, etc. And I find I can clear just about as fast anyway. But this time is important because I can see the Fiddlesticks on my ward and I want to go and invade his blue, so any extra speed I get in this first camp is important. The enemy have clearly faced Nidalees before and know to ward the back of the dragon pits, which I thought was pretty smart. So they know what I'm up to, but I don't know that they know that I'm up to it. To be fair, even if my team had been standing at standard jungle guarding positions, they might not have seen that ward go down anyway. But so far nothing really out of the ordinary is happening. My bot lane have been double killed by the Vayne. Olaf is being pushed under tower by Gwen. And Echo's lost his flash and been sent back to Fountain. And I know you don't believe me when I say this happens every game. So that means I need to hit you with my girthy fact stick. These are timestamps of my last 10 games of deaths within the first 5 minutes. Laners just can't chill out, and even though it actually looks like it balances out in terms of which team is getting the kills, I still tend to lose most of the games anyway. On with the show. So, as Fiddlesticks knows that I went to invade his blue, he eventually moves in to invade mine. Which is sad, because we'll now be even in our clear, instead of me setting him behind like I'd hoped. And now isn't this interesting? Because of my decision, the map got split, so Fiddlesticks is now here for a level 3 dive at top, which he wasn't actually needed for because the Gwen would probably have killed the Olaf anyway with the Ignite. And he even wasted his flash trying to get a kill participation. How hilarious. So Echo's heart is in the right place and he runs up to help, which is going to put us in potentially in a 3v2. But as it turns out, we outplay them. Really like that smite on the scuttle and then jump back over to pull the Zed into the fight more. And yes, we pick up a double kill here with a godly spear, which enables me to double scuttle the Fiddlesticks, netting about the same golden experience as an old single scuttle used to give us. But I certainly shouldn't complain. That went about as well as it possibly could have given the circumstances. I stay to take my tier 1 Krugs, and I know Fiddlesticks is going to be pathing down to the bot lane, and I can see Jinx just trying to 1v2 by herself, pushed up the lane, so I'm going to try to fend off the incoming gank. I knew it was coming, but I reacted too late as there are no wards in the river bushes. But the Fiddlesticks was garbage, so thankfully my bot lane turned it, and yeah, so what do we do here? We heal the ADC to kind of try to encourage her to stay for now this 3v2. She doesn't. I sweep the bush to make sure that we're not seen, but the Lux runs in front of the minions. We miss our abilities there, which, if we'd have hit that, would have been a kill. And then with the big wave coming in, I don't want to stick around and lose tempo, so I back, let the Lux get some solo XP. I'm still ahead of the Fiddlesticks in terms of CS, thanks to his deaths, and continue my camp sequencing up the top. My top laner solo dies in front of his tower, so now I've got to try to move and hold it, I guess. Fiddlesticks is warded in my jungle, so they seize me. I have a feeling he's around, or I've seen him on a ward or something, so I put my trap on that bush, and then hit a beautiful spear over the wall on the unsuspecting Gwen. So should I be taking this wave? Pretty sure I should. My Olaf is still in base, waiting on an item presumably. I force the Fiddlesticks off the Scuttle Crab, killing him and taking the Scuttle for myself. And I decide to take the Rift Herald rather than going to help my top laner. Selfish jungling. I think I should probably try to get the Olaf back in the game. As it is, the mid laner rotates over and we both take the Herald together. And then I try to look for a gank top, but it doesn't work because Gwen is just fantastic against Nidalee, it seems. Also, that ward helps a lot, and I can't sweep it because I've got the Herald, so I think we definitely should have utilised Echo's roam to 3v1 the top lane and then take the Herald. So I'm roaming down to the mid lane to help Echo. Zed sees me on a ward, but runs into my spear, and I drop the Herald here because I just want plates. I want plates on my mid laner, and let's just get this rolling. I intend to get the second Herald when it spawns. So yeah, let's just cash in some gold whilst we can. Unfortunately, Echo decides to go in under tower just as Fiddlesticks comes around the corner. I go in to help, and we manage to take the Fiddlesticks down, but both of us die to the brand support roaming, and incidentally, Olaf is getting killed solo up at the top again. So not a lot is really happening here. Lux thinks she's a roaming champion and is leaving our ADC alone to try to int. As is standard, the bot lane get themselves horrendously chunked out before the dragon fight, and Helpful Me is here to try to save their lane. And yes, Nidalee is a high-skilled champion, and yes, she works in low elo because enemies are magnetically attracted to spears. So for once, I was able to save bot lane before they could commit suicide and lose us a dragon, but unfortunately we do lose our Olaf top again. Just the tip, Vayne, just the tip. And that was actually a surprisingly good ult from Jinx. I was shocked. So with that, dragon is on the table, but I know bot lane alone wants back and reset, and I'd rather they did and not die, and so we look for a gank on the mid. I don't care about dragons, I care about getting my lanes ahead. We don't get much from the gank, but I do get the Echo to safely push in his lane and not die. You may also notice that unassisted spear hit, Zed didn't. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, and now I dearly want to go back to my camps, complete a clear, and get some items on the map. But the team just cannot stop fighting. Cannot stop. So I think that was actually my trap that I put in the bush before that picks up that kill. And now finally I can get sequencing again. As my top gets dove, and the tower goes down. So here I am, coming to help. Missed that spear, which is unfortunate. Echo's here as well. He was playing his best, I think. Olaf comes back in to die. The Gwen shroud stops my spear, which is very annoying. But once it's gone, she's got no protection, and we take them down. Sadly, if I'm not literally right next to them, my team is just going to die, and unfortunately Echo gets ambushed on his way back to lane. So let's finish this clear and go get some items. Oh, wait, no, I guess we're out for an extended sequence. That scuttle I hear is valuable, so we'll go take that. Oh, and here everyone sees Zed moving to the bot lane, apart from bot lane, who start backing on a ward, as the spam pings rain down around them. Credit to her, Lux manages to press 2 buttons and takes down the enemy's support, but then feeds Zed a shutdown. I'd really rather they just walked away. So now Echo gets pincered, trying to take down the tower. And credit to him, he actually manages to take down the Fiddlesticks and get away with his life. Could we say the jungle gap was maybe a factor there? So here I am up top, I want to get that Herald, but I decide this time I'm going to gank the top lane first. Gwen's Shroud fucks with my initially well-aimed spear, which was really annoying. This game was a process of learning about Gwen's Shroud and when she might use it. I hadn't faced her before, and then I play the rest of the fight a bit mechanically badly. I had to run through the minions there because they would have blocked my spear, and I wanted to hit my spear to get my passive, to get my execute damage from my transformed Q. So that's why it took so long for me to get to Olaf before he died. As I say, if I'd have played that better, Olaf probably would have lived. And here's Echo being a Chad, taking on the Fiddlesticks and stealing the dragon. Great work whilst I was taking Herald top. I was putting low priority on dragons this game because I want to accelerate the game. I want to use the heralds to take down the towers, try to do heavy ganking to get my lanes ahead, because I don't want to face Fiddlesticks and Vayne, etc. and Gwen late game. Sadly, our bot lane aren't able to get a clean clear up, but at least they get the brand, I guess. I try to take down mid tower. I'm not going to waste the herald on it. I nearly get it with all attacks, but I should have stayed at ranged and kept Cougar form to escape. As it is, I get out with flash, and then just biding time, waiting for my team to come. I throw that spear. I can't see Zed. He's in the fog of war. I'm just trying to guess at where he might be. So that's why that that might have looked like a terrible miss. But I'm just trying to predict. So I'm running around the side to get a flank. Brand's also there, but we go in on the Zed. Missing some spears now. And Zed pulls his old shadow trick. I honestly find this champion so difficult. I can never guess where the good ones are going to go. And this one's not a good one. He dodges the spear, backtracks, and the genius decides to go through 2 towers and then feed, get another kill participation to our ADC. We take the tower down and push forwards, just missing spears by a whisker. Get the herald down to try to get the second tier, half the HP of the brand. Brand ults, and I think it's fairly obvious we don't want to go under tower here, so I go off to just take the chickens. My team, on the other hand, has other ideas, so we trade 2 for 1, but at least we get the tower. So it's off to counter jungle we go, and I think the Fiddlestick steps on my trap that I put down and gives me a Dark Harvest proc, which is not quite nice. We have a bit of a pissing contest over Krugs. I peace out and go after the scuttle. I put a trap down upriver, expecting Fiddlesticks or someone like Gwen to be following me. But then a wild Brand appears and tries to steal my scuttle, and fuck you, Brand. And Echo decides he wants a bit of the old 2v4 action. So back in we go, and have ourselves a bit of a fiesta! Gwen's shroud doesn't protect her from a savage scratching. And am I being dumb? How did my passive get on her? I didn't hit her with a spear or a trap. God, so close. Bit more counter jungling and then back to spend. I don't care that Vayne is there, I want to get back to base. And this is a big mistake for me. So I start doing the red buff as they start doing the dragon. If I had just gone straight to the dragon and thrown that spear, I'd have stolen it. I've done it before. As it is, I don't know what I'm doing here, jumping into 4 with no dragon to steal. This is a terrible idea. But Lux hit her abilities and I hit my spear and I managed to make it out with a kill. And we chase into the base tower, taking it down, exposing the inhibitor, and get another kill on the brand. Cue messy skirmish. So at this point, their jungler's dead, most of the team are dead. I'm spam pinging the Baron. I really should have spam pinged it sooner, but at least I'm doing it. But no, apes must fight. So I have to run back and protect bot lane from themselves, taking down the Vayne, but now we've lost our window to Baron. So we get out and go up to some good old counter jungling, but no, we must keep fighting. Wouldn't this game be boring if we didn't just throw everything we've worked for the last 20 minutes away? So now we run. Now we miss everything. And you may be saying, well, you're sticking around and trying to fight all these fights as well. This is because I've learnt that nothing I can do will prevent them. If I go away and farm my jungle, my team will die. So I'm now trying a new strategy where I stay with them and try to win this fight that they so desperately want, or at least stop them from dying in it. Overall, it's working out a little better. Sometimes. So here I'm spam pinging my team because I know that someone's on the crab. Maybe I saw Gwen on the wood. I don't quite know how I know she was there, but I'm telling my team that she's there. And then when she's in the bush, which I have no vision of, I know she's in that bush, and I'm telling them where she is. They can't find her. Meanwhile, Lux is just ignoring this and going to fight 1v4. Ironically, if I hadn't told my team where the easy to collapse an opponent was, they would have ignored it and run to the Lux's fight, and who knows, maybe that wouldn't have gone so badly for us. Echo dies split pushing in our 1-2-1 formation, but at least he takes someone with him. But now the Vayne is starting to get shutdowns. I follow the Jinx around, trying to stop her from dying before the rest of the team can regroup. I'm throwing my spears too casually here. It really rinses down the mana if you're standing in lane doing this, and I think the threat of holding them is more valuable than just a constant barrage. Together me and the bot push the mid, and Gwen's Shroud continues to thwart us. They push up too far and get engaged on. I'd much prefer we just rotated to another lane, but as it is, the team fight plays out and we get the better of them. I do not play particularly well in the middle of this chaos. As I say, I really struggle with pinning down Zed in these fights. And this is where my lack of Nidalee experience comes into play, and that I tend not to space very well in them. So, yep, here we are, completely overstaying. We really need to leave. There's a free dragon on the table, but Bran slips through the net. I should have played slower here and held my spear and kept my range better. But my Zhonya saves me, and we get the dragon. Sweep out some wards. Team's playing right into the Fiddle Death Zone, but luckily he's far behind and he's walked into the little gully between the tower and the wall, so he's lined himself up nicely for a spear. And here I fall victim to my own bad mechanics and allow Vayne to get the kill on me. My second death in the game, which could have been avoided if I'd spaced properly and stayed away from walls. And my Echo is so distraught to see it, he goes and kills himself. Oh, and this next thing tilted me so much. Unreasonably so, I think. So Baron is up, and Lux is right by the crab, and she's got a stun, and lots of nice bursty damage to take it out real quick, and she just leaves it, and goes and throws some non-committal damage at mid lane, potentially getting herself in position to die to Zed. I was spam pinging it. Anyway, so that means now I've got to go fight over it. And luckily I play it well enough, and we chunk them out, get the scuttle, whilst Echo goes off and dies alone in our jungle for some reason. So we're missing a great opportunity to bait them into trying to stop us doing Baron, and either killing them or taking the Baron. So we just waste time chasing around whilst Vayne's taking our bot lane. Our ADC masterfully overextends into 3 people, and baits the fiddle in. And we pull this Pyrrhic victory off by the skin of our teeth, and I notice I auto-attack and use my abilities on some of the minions instead of Gwen at that last ditch second. I don't know if that would have saved Olaf, but these sort of things, misplays, can lose you fights. And now it's my turn to greed for the inhibitor and overextend with Lux, and we feed Vayne some nice double kill shutdowns. So now Vayne's juiced, Gwen is fed as hell, and they're taking the Baron. At this point, game's fairly done for us, I think. I mean, we have got Echo fed, we have got Jinx fairly fed, we've got Lux who's pretty strong. We've got some late game scaling. I'm also pretty strong, but my champ falls off at this point now, and I mechanically struggle a little bit more with the late game. We've got a 0 and 15, something like that, Olaf, which is a bit of a problem. So it's essentially a 5v4 against champions that just do scale really, really well. But I guess it's still actually not unwinnable if we can band together, group up, and pull off some a couple of team fights. We should be able to push through to the end. but it's just proving impossible to get everyone on the same page, and now we're just getting picked off again and again, a few at a time. I think Echo had the right idea with trying to push waves. I know Echo is a good split pusher. As I said, we don't actually have a top laner, so if he'd stuck with us as a 4, maybe we could have won some of these fights. On the flip side, I do think me and the bot lane pushed up too far that time. Uh, we could have let the game come to us a bit more, push out the waves more gradually, like let Echo push that bot wave and then come join us. But as it is, we're just getting too disjointed against enemies that are increasing in strength. So we find ourselves fighting the same place that we were doing earlier, where we only just got out, and this time we throw it. I go for Gwen, trying to 2v1 her with the Lux, but she's just so difficult for Nidalee to fight. So that fight's lost, but we see Zed pushing far up on his own, so we rotate across to see if we can get him. I get bamboozled, he gets out, and they take a hard thrust at our base. And you can see that my spears now aren't quite doing the same level of damage as they once did. I have got Death Cap, but I've also got Phase, no, not Phase, Cosmic Drive. I like the health and the speed boost it gives me, but it doesn't give me that extra punching power that Void Staff or Horizon Focus might. So here is obviously my mistake. I get caught out. I went a bit too close to the bush because I didn't wait for my spear cooldown. I was trying to put my trap in instead, but at least it baits them into fighting, and then they lose one as well. But speaking of bait, Gwen leads them on a merry chase through the woods as the rest of her team takes on our inhibitor. And Lux manages to snipe a kill on the Zed. I mean, I'll give her credit for she's aggressive. She was aggressive this game, and she got some kills, but she was a fucking pain for getting caught out. So here is a repeat of what happened earlier. I stay to hit the control ward on my way through, and so don't get to Dragon in time, and I could have possibly stolen it. So now they're on Soul Point, but I think I'm fairly happy that at least they haven't got Soul by now, because of the way we slow played the Dragons. And now Vayne chases me down, but we do get her as well, and I think me for her at this point in the game is probably worth it. As long as my team can push out the mid wave and contest the Baron, that is, rather than dying in our jungle. Oh, and in top lane. So they're about to get their second Baron and clinch the game. And honestly, I'm glad I did this review because I was so tilted after I finished playing this. We're in such a strong position to win. I'm now in position to be demoted to Bronze 3. But watching it back, I feel I played the early and mid game pretty well. I'm happy with that, with the way I played. The late game, not so much. And honestly, my teammates were better players than the ones I normally get. I mean, the Echo and maybe even the Lux were trying. They were trying, and the game was actually quite balanced. So I can't really complain. But I guess I just feel that I make loads of mistakes, and I'm a bad player playing a really hard champion. But am I really making that many more mistakes than silver or even gold players? Like, I climbed to high silver with like 20 games playing support, which is literally just drop some wards, hit your CC. But man, jungle is just something else. Anyway, I'm loving Nidalee at the moment, and I'm going to give her a good run in season, whatever it is, 2022. Catch you on the next one.